Happy New Year, neighbors. But let's just get into it. Been trying to follow nuclear, commercial nuclear power. What happens when something goes wrong? We have a large history of these accidents, commercial accidents, dating back to some of the first reactors. One of the first ones President Carter actually went to assist with up in Canada. It was a commercial reactor that went bad. And again, it was one of the first commercial nuclear accidents, and that president was involved in it. So you can go find that history if you like to, but Three Mile Island, probably the most visible one and the largest known commercial one. And we never heard much about any impact or harm from it, which is odd. But it is personal medical information, so it could be protected for reasons. Or it could just be disparate. It's spread across too many different doctors and hospitals and records that are on paper back over history. So there's no way of recovering this information without a massive effort. Or you could go poll CDC databases for this type of information and see what turns up, because that is the largest single medical record set maybe on the planet. We don't know. But it's huge. Because I was involved. I was technically a part of those things. So a little bit of awareness there helps. But your records don't travel with you. Ask your doctor how far back he can see in your medical history next time you go in. Especially if you're a new patient, which happens quite often. How much gets transferred? How much time do they spend going back through your medical records? So there are ways to do this, but it's not in the doctor's office necessarily. It's above him. So there's ways of finding these things. And let's go, so TMI I mentioned, now let's go to Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a massive, massive disaster. Much worse than 3 Mile Island. Many more types of emissions were released. It was a massive accident. It destroyed a whole city, made a whole city move. Now, in the background to that, go look at the numbers of deaths from the Chernobyl accident, and you will find disputes about what that number is. But the fact is, you can find hospitals where, quote, children of Chernobyl are still being treated and taken care of. One of them is in Cuba. It's a rather large one. It's hard to find the status of that hospital or those children, but it exists. So somewhere out there are numbers not only of fatalities, but of other harms, because we know this is how it works. Strontium-90 causes bone cancers. Deuterium and tritium are carcinogens. You can go look them up in different industrial data sets. They are items of concern, and yet we're talking about, we probably are dumping tritium into the ocean from the Fukushima event. So there's event number 3 of major events. But there are hundreds more behind this, all across the globe and the country and the nation, and you hear about them. But tying the medical effects to these is a challenge medically. It's expensive. Oh my gosh. We don't want to pay for this stuff, do we? But it is also fundamental research to find out how much should we be worried. This information goes back into risk analysis. How much of the population can afford to get these cancers, can afford to die? What if it's the younger populations now that are more affected? Look at childhood cancer rates. Yes, the ads say they are healing more people because they're getting more people coming through the clinic. Childhood cancer rates are slowly depending on the graph, are increasing. So tying all of this together into a large nuclear story, the industry certainly does not want to do this. The industry over decades has not put very much effort into trying to do this. It seems they've put more into obfuscating the obvious, right? Our hospitals now can blame a death on COVID because of COVID causing other things. But a hospital cannot blame a death on radiation. Yet we understand how radiation works. There are articles about why the general public does not accept or is afraid of radiation. Well, we damn well should be. Look at the billions, now trillions of dollars committed to cleaning up nuclear waste sites from our both commercial efforts to make nuclear fuel and all those mining sites that have possibly contaminated states' drinking water supplies. That mining, those wastes, that part of nuclear fuel processing that goes undiscussed. Yet we can find the harm, especially in Indian reservation populations, from the tailings of these mines. Now this is chemical poisoning with a radioactive flavoring added. This is how it works. So the articles about just mass hysteria about radiation is because they have not educated the population about this at all over decades. They have put this in the background, on the back burner. Don't worry our pretty little heads about this. Now all of a sudden they're trying to sell it everywhere. All of a sudden this is the new whiz-bang. We've known this is old shit. So more nuclear conversations in 2021, I suppose. You cannot read one article and give it too much weight. There are no heroes on the planet. Superman, yeah, well, the phone booths are gone. The man took away phone booths, so Superman doesn't have any place to change in anymore. Happy New Year. Peace out. And pollution, the environment, the weather changes has been totally blown over by some hot windbag orange piece of shit in a position of power. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hear me, Gurk, said the cow. Happy New Year. Peace out.